I was listening to a guy, Henry Macko, very wise man. He's very intelligent from what I gather. I just listened to a little bit of what he had to say. And I grabbed a few quotes. The new world order that's coming into being is communism. Communism is these crazy Kabbalist bankers. Wait. Let me start again. I think I skipped a line. I'm going to be reading a quote by Henry Macko. I have a lot of scribbles on my pages. I don't know if I skipped a line. Okay. The new world order that's coming into being is communism. Communism is these crazy Kabbalist Jewish bankers redefining reality so that they're at the pinnacle and replacing God. I found that's a quote by from Henry Macko. I just picked up when I was learning from him, listening to one of his interviews. I found that to be very interesting and quite a bit to process. Quite a bit to process. I don't know if that's sunk in for you, but I'm still processing. Here's the quote again. The new world order that's coming into being is communism. Communism is these crazy Kabbalist Jewish bankers redefining reality so that they're at the pinnacle and replacing God. You know, this would, after listening to this, my first thought was this would definitely warrant an investigation into the backboard of the Federal Reserve. Okay? I always emphasize backboard because, as far as I can see in the name of chess, most of the representatives that you see on TV that appear to represent this or that are virtually meaningless or pawns on the board. When you really want to get down to the powers that be in the name of chess, you go to the backboard. Investigation into the backboard of the Federal Reserve. Upon the grounds that the new world order that's coming into being is communism. Communism is these crazy Kabbalist Jewish bankers redefining reality so that they're at the pinnacle and replacing God. Investigation into the Federal Reserve. For sure. Is my conclusion there. Okay. I'm going to read another quote from Henry Macko. The Zionists may have been responsible for the Holocaust, the Jewish Holocaust. Okay, that's a quote from Macko, and wow, horrible pieces of information we're getting here. The Zionists may have been responsible for the Holocaust, the Jewish Holocaust. You know, upon learning this, definitely, once again, this warrants an investigation, maybe how many decades ago? You know, this investigation should have been run around the time of World War II. But it's never too late, or better late than never. Yeah. So, moving on, Macko also says, Zionists were definitely in cahoots with the Nazis. Right. Now, there's been a lot of talk of prosecution of Nazis. Nazis have been hunted down for whatever their war crimes, even well after the World War II was over. And my concern is, if this be true, that there were Zionists operating in cahoots with the Nazis, why have they not yet been prosecuted? Okay, down to the Rothschild. Okay, Zionists operating in cahoots with the Nazis. Yeah. Well, what's alarming is that if this be true, that these Zionists actually got off the hook, they have not been prosecuted for operating in cahoots with the Nazis. Okay. So I got this bit of information from Mako, and he says the Zionists may have been responsible for the Holocaust, the Jewish Holocaust. That's a huge accusation. We're talking serious international crimes here, and justice has not been served. There have been Zionists working behind the scenes, who may be responsible for this Holocaust. You know, it makes me feel as though every Nazi put on trial is in the name of chess. It's like another pawn being knocked off the board, but yet down to the Rothschild, the king is still standing. Or my question would be, let's tap into the force that's behind these pawns, these bishops, these smaller players, these Nazis. You know, if this be true, that the Zionists may have been responsible for the Holocaust. Okay, then justice has not been served in that department because we have not seen any of these Zionists prosecuted, not yet. Okay, and this should have been done this should have been handled in the 1940s. So, open investigation, ongoing investigation, hopefully not too late. All right, so that's what Mako had to say about the New World Order. And I said something else pretty interesting about Israel. This is another quote by Mako. Okay. Israel, which is intended to be the capital of the one world government, which is essentially ruled by the Rothschilds. World government by the Rothschilds, by the Kabbalist Jews. Once again, this warrants an investigation of the Rothschild. Okay, Mako has no reason to just make this stuff up. He's done his research. Okay, it's the best of his ability. It's the best as far as his understanding goes. He's making sense, and I believe he's speaking his truth. He's speaking his truth. Okay. You know, of course, all the facts cannot be uncovered without. Well, that's what investigation is for, to uncover the facts. So, to a certain degree, we have to just be theoretical until there's investigation to back up these statements. But, like I said, I perceive him to be a wise man, and definitely, at the minimum, this information that he's bringing forth warrants investigation of the Rothschilds. I think that's about it for the moment. One more quote. Okay, here's another quote by Mako. This will kill a lot of Goyim, and that seems to be their ultimate goal. At this, and just to interject for a second before I go on with this quote by Mako, in the middle of this part of the conversation, somehow the topic steered towards a hypothetical nuclear war. or a hyper. That's okay. So that's just a little background on where we go from there. This will kill a lot of goyim, and that seems to be their ultimate goal. And I believe this is in regards to this hypothetical nuclear war. Okay, so Mako goes on to say, this will kill a lot of goyim, and that seems to be their ultimate goal. They killed 60 million goyim in the Second World War. They are the greatest mass murderers in history. These Zionist, Kabbalist, Jews and Freemasons, they are Satanists. Okay? So I'm only interested in the backboard. Everybody else is virtually meaningless in my book, in the name of chess. And once again, this calls for an investigation of Rothschild. Okay, because for the reason that we're looking to the backboard, we're going as backboard as we can go, and you can't get any more backboard than that without being face to face with Lucifer.